come up. You can't get done if you run. Try to improve my way of living. No sitting, just getting my funds up. I'm getting silent, don't bother me. Trying to plot on the lottery, push some paradise out of poverty, boost my quality. And all it be is patience and preservation. I'm waiting and meditating. They hating and levitating, embracing Satan. I try to pay no attention unless they paying with pension. Not to mention, I need some fixing to keep the dogs and kids in sacrifice. A paradox within my eyes. Cause what I realize is I can't rest until I materialize. I try to push to the limits, cause this game ain't for the timid. I'm lined up for that scrimmage, can only be in it for the winning. Better environment for them children, feeling the linen, extravagant feeling, making a deal and something appealing. Nigga, I'm wearing what I'm feeling. I'm aiming my sights up to the moon and hope to land somewhere nice. You get what you give, and I start to be living in quality and paradise. Yeah. Damn. If I can find it. Yo, can I get some? Man, I'm drinking a glass of coconut milk right now. If I can find it. Know what I'm saying? Going out without fighting, so I recite what I'm writing. Try to heighten the situation so I could die and enlighten. I'm just a kid from the bottom, from winter, spring, summer, autumn. Try to plot, I'm dropping hotter than Sodom, bombing and armor, chewing and on you and all them. Everyone that's in my way, you do it all, that's what you say, but I can't say I see the same. Stop your excuses. If the shoe fits, you should use it for its useless. Take this juice and let it loose before you lose and end up shoeless. I'ma do this, crashing through this, matching through it, crashing but bringing passion to it. My deal with fluid will overrule the foolish attention. You see, I'm wishing for stronger ambitions, which get me switching in positions where the clock is ticking. And my life is flickering, haters snickering, laughing at mistaken actions, but fractions is what I cut them to. Passion is what I'm gonna do. You see, I'm striving to get it. You getting sick, just admit it. But I'ma kid it and live it. My people get with it. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Damn. Yeah. If I can find it. Laughing at y'all. Yo, can I get some? Yeah. Man, ain't it so beautiful? Damn. If I can find